on the foundation program. The foundation program. Again, we take it easy. We don't give them an easel on a corner and say go in and express yourself. You just don't do that. They didn't come in here, go to school to find a corner, an easel, and express themselves. They can do that home, and they didn't have to go to college to do that either. No, we give them problems. See, paint these objects. Here's a light source. At first black and white, again, pretty much. See, a lot of these courses, by the way, re-echo what you have in another class. Like in two-dimensional design, you work with planes, see. In spatial, flat images in space form. Three-dimensional design, you actually in real space. Diversity of planes in space, how they work together. In painting, they had to do the same thing. They got a light source. The light hits a plane this way. The plane casts shadows over another object. See, they learn to do that, and how the grays change at first, and later on the instructors, and then the following week, the instructors said, "Well, now let's add blue to the experience." See, make one of the objects that you draw. First, they draw kind of a still life setup, see? And watch how these objects, reflect color, because color is reflected by light. If I put the red, if I put red under my chin turns red. See? So as the light hits it, bingo, it goes up. It never stops. Color moves in space. See? And that's what they learn in a foundation program in painting. See? And little by little, the planes and the object get a little bit more complicated. They cast shadows, the colors. You add another color, a third color. And then by this time, it's almost the end of the first semester. In painting class, then they start, maybe they use a human figure. Because therein lies the toughness, in painting. When you start drawing a human figure, it's tough. Because you still have the same light. The lights, grays, and darks in the human figure is more subtle, and the kids have to see the subtlety of the gradations, of lights against the body, and the cast shadows. See? And there again, we'll add color to the figure, like in the background, throw color. Again, if you throw a red cloth or a blue cloth back here, the light hits it and bounces back. Red or blue here. For many years, even in painting, from professional painters, they were painting snow scenes always. When they cast shadows, like, the cast shadow were grays, see? They didn't realize that a lot of these cast shadows were in color. See, that was a slow process, First thing you know, even the color of the sky, the blueness of the sky reflects on the snow and rebounds, against trees, etc. See, because the color is like a moving movement of air that carries color with it, and it bounces off. You see, if you think that way, you begin to realize, that's when you're painting movement in space. You see, and the kids try to control that, one way or another. And the instructor, from week to week, they criticize. See? And later on, maybe even the end of the year, they go into a little bit of a personal approach to what to do, a little bit of personal approach to what they do. But the personal approach, by the way, is always there. The kids will even draw a plane their own way. They draw an object their own way. See? Although, if it's an elliptical object, they don't want a triangular one, and that's taking off too much, see, in the beginning. And it's when you're a senior, you don't talk about that. Talk about entirely different kind of things, you know. The expression of color then, the expression of shape, you see. It's an entirely different conversation, you see. It's a higher plane, see. But in the foundation program, that's what we do. See, and the kids begin to recognize it. See, by the time they get into the second year, some of them are beginning to painting already. See, and they get more diversity this way. Too many schools, for example, have a method of painting. You see, all the paintings begin to look alike. See, not here. They don't look alike. See? Because, you know, in the learning process, they also develop their own instincts. See, from that, and then they have, of course, the foundation. They have history of art right with it. They want to know what happened in history. What was Titian all about? What was Michelangelo all about? What was the building of the churches all about? See, and of course English. They had to have, you know, they had to learn how to speak English halfway decently. See, and to write decently. So, because it goes into the degree program, you know, that's what we had to add more of. And when we move into the degree program, see, we had to add more academic programs. See, and by the way, that's all this conversation about the foundation year leads us to what we were doing at the school. Mary Kinney and I, we were working toward the degree. See, at this time, we could only afford so many teachers, so we couldn't pay very well, but we got very good teachers anyway. See, we had people like Edmund Keene was one of our drawing and painting instructors. Whom, by the way, I got to say something about Edmund. He's a great lover of art. He loved the museum. Edmund loved the museum, and he still does, no doubt. He's a good painter, he's a good artist, you know, but he's very sincere, see, particularly in the museum, see. Well, anyway, besides Edmund, we had Harry Rich was an advertising designer. This is where we started, see, departmentalized.